You want me to start? Or
I was waiting. Oh, you're
yeah,
good. You're good.
you want me? Okay.
Go.
So we're here now to have a hearing on the hotel license application for the Suburban Studios hotel. Um, we do have someone from the hotel who's here, the manager, not the owner. I don't know if you want to come up and introduce yourself before we get started, and if there's anything initially you'd like to say or ask.
Yes, so I'm Eric Gonzalez. I'm the general manager. Um, so my ownership was out of the country and they're on their way. They will get here later tonight. They're likely delayed. So I was just wondering if there was any way that we can continue it because I don't feel comfortable as now being ownership, being in this position. I just wanted to come in and at least represent the property if there's anything that I could do.
When, if we were to continue it, when would we?
Well, it's within I mean, you could have a special meeting if you want, and we'd have to advertise it, or you could schedule it for your next business meeting, which would be in January.
That's a long time from now.
She arrives tonight at some point in like the middle of the night, so she's available starting tomorrow. Just I truly apologize.
Can I ask, was she in receipt of the notice of violation at the time it was sent by the
Yeah,
township?
it was a flight delay issue.
That's why. I mean, I am hesitant to delay or continue to much of an extent, just because I know that we have people here on the township side that have time commitments. And we were prepared to hold the hearing tonight. I don't know how the rest of the board feels or what the availability would be. We're kind of in a tight time frame with holidays and
I don't want to delay till January. That's for sure. If we decided to continue it, I don't want to. I would say we'd do a special meeting. I don't know when that would be, but I don't. I do feel bad making everyone stay. Of course, we could do it at any time of day. Mimi, what do you think?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I hesitate to regroup the staff on another night. And also, I mean, this is a public safety issue that I think is really important that gets addressed
Oh,
as soon as possible.
I
is
know what
it,
you were saying. All right, let's adjourn. Why don't we adjourn for so you we'll just take a let's go off the record and take a break.
okay.
Maybe don't want to delay. I don't know if like next Monday would be an option. Still early. Gives us time to advertise. I know I don't know
If people are available, if the board and staff are available, it doesn't have to be at night either. You could do it during the day.
I am not available at all next Monday.
I think we have to ask the court reporter when she's available.
I mean, is it possible to open the hearing and proceed with some of our questioning? And if we need additional time or additional testimony to continue it to another,
Yeah, we can start the hearing. We can have Tara. The only downside to that is the owner won't be here to hear Tara's. I don't know, is the YouTube recorded? Okay, so they can go in and actually review what Tara says and review some of the questions and and then we can reconvene it at a future date.
I mean, if we need additional information.
If you need
just-
additional information, yes. Yeah, I mean, we can proceed and then you can see if you're comfortable with the information you have.
Is there any feedback on that?
I mean, I personally think I'd prefer to do a short to do a short delay of a few days, maybe later this week or early next week. If Monday doesn't work, then maybe a different day. Um, I do worry that I'm not sure we're saving a lot if the ownership isn't here, and um, and we just present it. I don't think that only saves us the time it presented. We just do that today. If we have to continue it, then I would just like to do all of that out in front of the ownership.
How many days? How much advertising? Is it just 24 hours?
Yeah.
Is there,
It's hard for Nancy. Sounds like if we are supposed to have two Thursday night.
oh,
But
Are you talking about this Thursday, the 11th?
I don't. I think you can take a seat, dude.
I mean, I'm sympathetic to the flight changes. I travel myself and I understand the challenges.
I just
It-
didn't know.
Right. No, and I appreciate that you're here. I do.
And so, like, they're building,
Yeah.
you know, like I can go tomorrow, but.
Right. No, I appreciate that you're here. Again, I mean, from the perspective of the township, the concern is just that this was the time that the hearing was advertised. The resources were spent for that to occur and for the appropriate people to be here. Unfortunately, it's just a really hard time of year to mesh schedules, and we have some staff members with time constraints. I'm gonna stick with preferring to at least continue the hearing. That would be my vote for the evening, but I'm one of three, so. I mean, I'll just reiterate that this is an enforcement action that's occurring. It's not just an application for a standard license. And because there are health and safety issues that have been raised and that we believe are persisting, again, I'm sympathetic to the conditions for them not being here, but hearing about it now is just kind of hard with the resources that have to go into scheduling an event and the preparation that goes into this. And I think that it would be my preference to at least open the record and have our witnesses that are here present
Okay.
their perspective. But
I'm okay with
Go
that.
for it. Yeah.
okay. And if we need additional information, we can do continuation to ask additional questions, but this at least gets our township testimony on the record.
Yeah, we can go back on the record. So there was a discussion off record regarding whether or not to adjourn and continue the proceeding, or at least start tonight. The consensus of the board was to start the hearing and allow staff, particularly since there's a number of staff folks here and schedules are tight this time of year, to allow them to present the information they have, to the extent possible. The hotel employee can present what she knows or respond to questions, or if need be, we can at that point adjourn the meeting, the hearing, and have it continued at a later date. So initially, I just want to go through and note that there are a number of exhibits, and I know, Katie, you have some copies. I don't know yeah, that would, if you want to provide that, just so that they have the exhibits that I'm going to be referring to. This is the list of the exhibits that we've identified for the hearing. Board Exhibit 1 is the license application. And Board Exhibit 2 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing letter dated October 27th, 2025. Board Exhibit 3 is the hearing notice to the Daily Local. I think Board Exhibit 4 and 5 are the same. It's the proof of publication on November 21st, 2025. Board Exhibit 6 is the certified mail receipt. I believe that's for the notice of violation, notice of hearing. And Board Exhibit 7 is the calls for service list from October 24th, 2025 to December 3rd, 2025 for various calls for service. So do you have any objection to those exhibits? No. Okay, I know you've only just received them, so I just wanted to ask, but if you have an opportunity to review them, and you can also provide them to the hotel owner as well. And so with that, I think what we'll do to start off is we'll ask Tara Giordano, the zoning officer, to come to the board and present both where things have been and where you believe things are currently.
So the property at 877 North Pottstown Pike was previously an extended stay hotel. The property transferred ownership in August of this year. We did a use and occupancy inspection for the property transfer. And in October, on October 15th, Mike Holmes, the fire marshal, and I responded to a complaint for noncompliance with the hotel ordinance. Upon our inspection, there were trash bags being stored inside the mechanical room. The dumpster outside was overflowing. There were broken down vehicles on the property, as well as numerous wooden tree structures within all of the landscaping area. We had issued a violation notice to the property that day. October 22nd, we went back to the hotel in order to do the hotel license inspection. This time, the broken down vehicles were still on site, as well as the wooden structures and debris in the landscaping. We did inspect a handful of rooms based on the ordinance. A few of them, there were minor minor fix-it code issues that needed to be fixed with smoke detectors, and the fire alarm was not working. The next time we went out there, the majority of items were cleaned up. That was after we had issued the notice of violation and the notice of the hearing. We hand delivered and sent the letter certified mail on October 27th to the property owner. So during the time that the notice of violation was issued and tonight, the majority of issues outside were all cleaned up. The dumpster was emptied. The applicant was in between dumpster service with two different companies. All of the debris was removed. The only issue that appears to still be outstanding is that it appears that people are overstaying their welcome for more than 30 days, whether that be that they check in and check out a few times, but we do know that there's people that have been there from October still to today.
So I don't know if the board has any questions now from Mr. Giordano, or you want to hear from the fire marshal and the police department at this point?
So how many people are we talking about who are are basically have been in the hotel for over 30 days or 28 days, whatever the.
I would say somewhere between 10 and 12.
And what's the range? Do we only know from October till now, or do we know how far back this?
We only know from October till now, since it's been under new ownership and since our first inspection in October.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a couple questions just regarding the nature of some of the violations. When you went out on October 15th as the result of a complaint that you received or information that you received that there was non-compliance, I noted the notice of violation was issued and there was an order to correct the violations within 1 day. And there were 4 items noted on that notice of violation. Were those 4 items corrected within the 1 day? It's this one, the notice of violation for the initial non-compliance inspection on October 15th that started this proceeding.
The trash was removed outside. They put it outside to the dumpster. The other was that the fire alarm?
So it was the remove all trash from the buildings, remove fire hazards, wood piles from exterior areas, fire alarm system requires repair for proper operation, and then hotel license required from township.
Yes, the items, item number 1 was taken care of, out of the building to the dumpster area. The hotel license was obviously not, still not issued. The fire alarm system was repaired and was good for operation. And at that time, the wood piles were still at the exterior of the areas.
And just for the record, the person answering the questions is Michael Holmes, who's the fire marshal.
Can you tell me a little about when we went out that day on the 15th and noted that there was not a valid hotel license? How did we get to the step of receiving an application for a license? So on the 15th, we discovered that there was not a valid operating hotel license for the facility. And then we received an application. I didn't see a date on the application. So I just wasn't sure, like, were they advised at that time to submit the license?
Yes, because when the ownership was transferred, we did a use and occupancy inspection that was still needed to get their annual license. So that was a whole separate deal. So once they were notified to get the license, we received the application and then did the inspection.
Yeah, does the township have a date there is no date on the application for the license? Do we have record?
We do.
Oh,
The actual real.
Since it's being recorded, let's make sure we use mic when we talk. Sorry.
And then I just had a question regarding the inspection. So we had an inspection initially on the 15th. There was a follow-up inspection the next day for compliance to check with those items.
Correct.
And then we have an inspection that was completed on the 22nd as a result of the application for the hotel license.
Correct.
And then a scheduled re-inspection for outstanding items on the 31st. Were all of those inspections paid in full, like all fees? Were they collected at the time of inspection or billed?
The license was paid, the application. We did not charge for the reinspection.
I think that's all the questions I have.
All right, so I ask, and there's not really any public here, but there's a few people that um, related to the township. But is there any public comments or questions? All right, seeing none. So Mr. Holmes, who's the fire marshal, other than responding to those questions, you have anything you want to add about what you saw during your inspections or where things stand today, or anything else you think you want to add to the conversation?
I mean, I just think that Erica certainly was more than cooperative in
That's
Take-
the hotel manager who's here?
correct taking care of the items that were noted, and in the best of her abilities was getting things corrected. Some of the items like the abandoned cars that were in the parking lot and the wood displays that were out in the exterior took a little bit more time, but they were also taken care of as well. The cars, I'm not sure if all the cars are removed yet. Okay.
Sorry, just one more clarification. Regarding the issues with the fire alarm system, on the notice of violation said it required repair, and on the letter that was sent to the applicant regarding the hearing, there was a comment regarding the inspection and the tag. Can you confirm at the time of the initial notice of violation, was the fire alarm not operational, or was it just out of inspection?
It was operational, it just didn't have the current inspection.
Okay,
They
so
had the paperwork, but
inspection, it wasn't broken.
correct.
Do we know if there's a process that the hotel has in their system to track how long people are?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm saying, do we know if the hotel, and I don't know.
I mean, you can ask staff, and then we can also
Okay.
ask.
Yeah, I mean, do we know, I'd be interested to know if the hotel is tracking in any way that how long people are staying, over there, if they're tracking in any way to flag that people are staying over the allowed limit, or if it's just, if it's just something we're finding because we're looking, but you would think of this, if they were being diligent about trying to be compliant with this, they would have some kind of system in place to say, flag someone, and then if the person's approaching, they could either make an effort to, notify that person that they can no longer stay, or make an effort to, as according to our ordinance, ask for an extension of that. If we think it's appropriate, it could be granted. I just don't know if it's being tracked by the hotel at all.
I can't answer that on behalf of the hotel. Mike and I had gone up and met with Erica this morning, and I had asked for a list of all of the occupied rooms. There are a few notes on that list indicating that the customer has been there for more than 30 days on a handful of rooms.
Okay.
So how they're tracking it, I don't know.
Seems to be some kind of tracking.
Those notes were made by the hotel staff, not by
Correct.
us.
And just for clarification, are those handwritten, or was that part of the printout?
It's part of the printout.
So we also have the police chief and the police lieutenant here. I don't know if they want to add anything as to what they've seen or dealt with at the hotel.
Thank you. Scott Alexander with the police department. So the police department is at that particular property with some regularity prior to it changing hands in late August. We were there quite often for various incidents, and even after the facility was under new ownership, the police department officers continued to respond to that particular facility and noted that they were seeing a lot of the same folks that they were familiar with prior to the changeover. We continue to go there today on a fairly regular basis, 11 times for the month of October, or November rather. And we are also sending our officers there regularly because of the necessity of having an active, like proactive, visible patrol there due to some of the issues there. So they were there an additional 33 times on their own doing active patrol. We were there recently for an investigation at the hotel, and during that investigation, the detectives learned that the person that they were dealing with had been at that hotel since the 7th of October. It appeared that they had checked out on the 17th of October, and in 1 minute were checked back into the hotel, remained in the same room. And that particular investigation was occurring December 3rd, I believe. And although the latest paperwork indicated that they had checked out of the hotel on the afternoon of the 2nd, perhaps when going to the room, all of their personal belongings were still in the room. It was very clear to the detectives that they were still there at the hotel, even though they had technically checked out. We would just like to reiterate, we're continuing to see the same folks there. There are at least 2 people at that hotel now that we are familiar with. We are there enough that we get to know a lot of the folks by name, and so they've definitely overstayed the 30 days, I would say.
Any board questions? Any public questions? All right, so Erica, I give you an opportunity if there's anything you'd like to say to the board. Can you just come to the microphone just so they can hear you? All right, is there any questions that the board has? No.
I do have some questions. It's just a matter of whether we want to continue. And I mean, I can ask you, and if you don't feel comfortable answering or you don't know the answer, we can do it at another time.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Um,
So just to be clear, Erica, the board is going to ask you some questions. If you're not, either don't know the answer or you're not comfortable answering, that's an appropriate response.
Can we discuss whether
You want to?
go off the record?
All right,
for
let's
a second? Do you mind?
go off the record.
Are we,
Yeah, we're still.
was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica. We're not going to ask any questions tonight. I would ask that you, since this has been recorded on YouTube, I'd ask that you ask the owner to review tonight's proceedings, and so that she can be prepared, and then we'll come up with a new date. If we have a new date tonight, we can do it on the record. If not, we can advertise it.
You mean, do we just wait until our January meeting?
No, I don't want, I would prefer not to wait that long unless we absolutely cannot schedule this. And if that's the case, that's the case, but
we have to give a 24-hour notice.
If we're rescheduling on the record, we don't.
We have to go over. Subject purposes, we have to-
So if you're extending it, well, if we do it on the record, I'll look into that. For instance, under the MPC, when you have a conditional use hearing, zoning hearing board hearing, when you adjourn and you pick a date certain on the record, you do not have to re-advertise. But this is not an MPC proceeding, so I'd want to double check it. But belt and suspenders, if we can pick a date, then we can figure out if we also need to advertise.
So theoretically, earliest would be, like, for belt and suspenders, the earliest.
Right.
Would it be easier to do it during the day on Thursday, or does that not work? It doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Got
As a day job.
it.
You correct. Six in there.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, I could do Thursday evening. No.
Sounds like the 11th or
I can make either one work.
I can make
11th or the what?
18th.
I can make myself available on the 18th.
The 18th.
I can make either one.
18th.
You said no to the 11th.
I'm not available on the 11th.
Okay.
No, I can't.
All right, 18th.
Okay.
All right, so whenever, what time are you available? 6? Is that gonna, without killing yourself? That's okay, 6, okay. All right, so can we go back on the record? So we're gonna continue the hearing until December 18th at 6 PM here at the Township's hearing room. And we'll proceed with the rest of the hearing at that time. We'll determine whether or not we need to re-advertise, but we're announcing it here on YouTube and on the record with the date certain as well. And with that, we can close the hearing for tonight.